welcome back to my channel, and I would like to introduce you to the top 20 books that I have read this year, and I'm going to put it in the order of from the beginning till the end, so basically from January 2020 to December 2020, and that's basically going to be it. I will not be going into detail for every book, just why I liked it and what's the synopsis. So please do stick around and let's move on. So the first book that I'd like to talk about is Red, White and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. So this story follows Alex Claremont Diaz, the first son of America, and Prince Henry from UK, and this is a gay romance with a lot of political agendas and homophobia, and this was a very unexpectedly pleasant read for me because in the beginning I wasn't quite enjoying it, and nonetheless I still loved the book. And before actually starting this book, I was really nervous about it because it got a lot of hype, and it's really nerve-wracking when you start a book which gets a lot of hype because you are scared that you may or may not like it because of the hype. But I nonetheless read it when it was happening, and I thoroughly enjoyed it because there was such an amazing element of romance, and it is young adult, so there will not be a lot of details of sex, and there were so many supporting characters. So if you like the whole hate to love stories with a lot of wit and humor, this is the book for you. The second book that I'd like to talk about is The Fountains of Silence by Ruta Sepetys. This book revolves around the Spanish Civil War during the dictatorship of Francisco Franco, and this was around 1957. Following two characters, Daniel, a photographer from a very elite family, and Anna, a waitress in a very prestigious hotel. So Daniel Matheson is basically a photographer who comes across particular scenes that he should not have been witnessing, and he takes pictures of this incident that happens, which was supposed to be kept a secret. Of course, it's a bad secret that is kept, and now he doesn't know what to do with the pictures that he has taken. And he meets Anna, a waitress from the hotel that he and his family are staying in. So basically there's a lot of political conflict in the story. There is romance, which is really star-crossed, and I really like that. The romance is so heavy, it did not feel forced, and was extremely heartbreaking. And there were various other characters from Anna's family that we get a perspective of, which were, to be really honest, far more interesting and far more in-depth. So the third book that I'd like to talk about is Slaughterhouse 5 by Kurt Vonnegut. This book is an anti-war book that revolves around Billy Pilgrim, who is on an odyssey of his life, and while there's a war happening, especially the most famous incident of the bombing of Dresden, and it's him going through a set of episodes which are funny, which are lighthearted, which are heartbreaking, and there's a lot of cynicism involved, there's a lot of morbid humor involved, which I was actually really surprised that I enjoyed it. Generally it's not my area of interest, but the way this author spun it around and made it seem like a very Forrest Gump kind of story. So that's the kind of vibe it gave me, and I remember enjoying Forrest Gump a lot. So this book kind of felt familiar, where the character just, without judgment, just goes through a series of extremely unpredictable episodes, and I liked it for that. So the fourth book that I'd like to talk about is Yes, No, Maybe So by Becky Albertalli and Aisha Saeed. So this book is a contemporary romance novel, a young adult contemporary romance novel between uh, Maya Rahman and Jamie Goldberg. Maya is a Muslim girl whose mother is constantly attacked for wearing a hijab, and Maya is also constantly attacked Islamophobia, which basically means that the people are always questioning her Islam and how far it goes and how superstitious or whatever nonsense that they think that happens in here. And there's Jamie Goldberg, who is Jewish, and he has a family of a lot of campaigners who really love him. And then there's the whole aspect of them both going out for these outreach camp programs during the elections, where they are fighting white supremacists who are being extremely I keep forgetting. Oh yeah, discriminatory against our young community, and these two together have to basically fight the bad guys. This book really touched my heart. It's really one of my most favorite books of 2020, and I couldn't recommend it less. So the fifth book that I'd like to talk about is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Yep, the most popular book of 2 years ago, I think, and it's worth the hype, guys. It's really worth the hype. So this book follows Daisy Jones and her various other fellow band members who have very little in common, and this book basically has a lot of elements of sex, drugs, and rock and roll, and it really uh, made me want to believe that there could be a band out there like that. It was written in a really amazingly, engagingly documentary style, and it was just fantabulous. And this book had such real characters, like you could connect with every one of them, and none of them had a very good relationship with each other. There was a lot of envy, there was a lot of uh, hate amongst each other. The band basically breaks apart just when it reaches the height, and that was really heartbreaking to see. So this book was just great. It may have been under young adult category, but I think that it really needs a little more of a mature audience.